always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Greetings, good people of the planet Earth and the known universe. You're listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. This is your Captain Keith. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Yes, good people of the planet Earth and the known universe. Happy Halloween to all of you out there. So I've got some entertainment news for you. Today's headlines: Kanye flips, Al Roker Halloween costume, and Ellen deserves rose. And we'll get to all of that. We sure will. But before we do, let's get into the other stuff. James Corden and Ariana Grande can't stop freaking out in a haunted escape room. Ha! Picture of the two of them. It's a black and white photo. They're in some room. James is looking up, reading. He's got some type of paper in his hand. Ariana's looking to her right. Just keep breathing, Ariana. To celebrate the spirit of Halloween, James Corden and Ariana Grande put their nerves to the test by trying to make it through the horrors of a haunted, nightmarish escape room. And things went even worse than they were expecting. On Tuesday's The Late Late Show, Corden gave fans a look at their misadventure, which was filmed back in August when the Sweetener singer joined the talk show host for a fun installment of Carpool Karaoke. I love being scared. I think it's so much fun, Grande told Corden in the pre-taped segment while discussing why she loves Halloween. You enjoy being scared so much, you go to like escape rooms and things like that, right? Corden asked. I go to haunted houses as stuff. Usually escape rooms aren't that scary, she replied, her words heavy with foreshadowing. But I do love escape rooms. We should do one. Corden, who admitted that he's never participated in an escape room experience before, went into it with his nerves already rattled. And while Grande seemed calm and collected before they entered the haunted room, her cool demeanor didn't last long. The minute they entered the room, they were immediately basked in darkness. And in fact, shooting most of their adventure required the use of black and white night vision cameras. And it was the creepy pitch black hallway that first gave the songstress second thoughts. You told me this was an escape room, not hell, a quaking Grande asked Corden, who apparently gets very giggly when he's scared. What is this? To her credit, the room they chose did seem to be a cross between your traditional escape room filled with puzzles that needed to be solved in order to leave, crossed with the jump scares and psychological horror of a horror maze. After taking quite a while to make it past their first puzzle, the frightened duo opened the door to a room designed to look like a twisted version of a child's bedroom, complete with bunk beds. Just as they let their guard down, an actor dressed like the wet ghost girl from The Ring, jumped up from one of the beds, giving Corden and Grande their first big scare before running out of the room as the pair cowered in the corner. You're a witch, censor, Grande screamed at the ghost as it fled the room. That's funny. The adventure continued as the pair moved through the multiple areas of the escape room, constantly screaming as creepy noises and mysterious fog were occasionally piped in to freak them out even worse. However, their terrifying journey reached an apex when Grande and Corden discovered a hidden cellar behind the fireplace that contained a giant rotating pillar and an elaborate puzzle on the wall. Despite their best efforts, the pair apparently got the puzzle wrong and were punished with a terrifying Slender Man-esque creature who crawled into the dark room on his hands and knees and began to chase them around inside the tiny cellar. This sounds like fun. I mean, I don't know if James Corden was in on all of this. I think some of this might have surprised him. They've really put some thought into this. At this point, the audio was mostly just screaming and bleeped cursing as the duo completely melted down and decided to just run out of the cellar. However, as she tried to run away, Grande ended up falling down hard. The segment then cut to Corden and Grande getting back into the SUV when the singer, sporting a white bandage around her hand, thus answering the mystery first raised months ago of how Grande hurt herself while filming Carpool Karaoke. Back in August, Grande tweeted a photo of her bandaged hand and said the injury occurred while filming the segment. However, when her installment of Carpool Karaoke aired, the accident and the bandage were never addressed. As it turns out, they were saving that particular part of the package for Halloween. "Are you okay?" Corton asked Grande with a laugh as they got back into the SUV. "Yeah, I will be. That was traumatic," Grande shot back before holding up her gauze-wrapped hand. "But I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Don't I look kind of hard?" That's cute. As for the escape room, Grande says she's been to hundreds before, and none of them were as nightmarish as the one they attempted. "That's not an escape room," she declared. "That's one of the 7 gates to hell." Ouch. Right on. So this was apparently filmed before her and Pete called it quits, and then before Mac Miller died. And in more entertainment news, Barbra Streisand sings "Funny Girl" in epic Carpool Karaoke. Okay. So James got Babs. He got Barbra Streisand in Carpool Karaoke. That's like a big deal. She's, very kind of private and reclusive. Yeah, so she's obviously a fan, otherwise she wouldn't have done it. So that's very cool. Don't bring around a traffic jam to rain on her parade. Haha. Get ready for some iconic glamour, Carpool Karaoke fans. The Late Late Show host James Corden revealed the next celeb he's taking for a musical spin is none other than the legendary Barbra Streisand. There you go. In a special teaser clip for Thursday night's episode, Corden hops in the car with Streisand, who's behind the wheel, and asks her, "Do you mind if we listen to some music?" She comically shoots back, "I don't usually put the radio on and hear music, so do you really have to hear music?" But it seems that the theater and big screen veteran finally opens up and belting out the iconic "Don't Rain on My Parade" from her hit 1968 musical adaptation of Funny Girl. Babs clearly still has the chops, giving the performance her all in a way that's sure to make Rachel Berry jealous of Corden. There you go. The British late night host has had plenty of A-list talent in his Carpool Karaoke series, including Adele, Mariah Carey, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars, and more. That's true. The TV series This Is Us emotionally honors Pittsburgh after deadly synagogue shooting. There's a picture of Mila Ventimiglia and Mandy Moore looking at the TV, and he's got his Pittsburgh Steelers hat on, so that's cool. This Is Us is honoring the city it proudly calls home. Following Tuesday's episode, the NBC drama ended its hour with a special end card just days after the deadly shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue in the Squirrel Hood neighborhood of Pittsburgh. Our heart goes out to those families. Pennsylvania claimed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it claimed the lives of 11 and injured 6, including 4 police officers. Our hearts are broken. We stand with our television hometown of Pittsburgh. The message read, followed by a call to end gun violence. The stars of This Is Us also weighed in on the tribute, with cast members Mandy Moore and Susan Kelechi Watson taking to social media on Tuesday evening to push out the message to the residents of Steel City. "We love you, Pittsburgh. #Pittsburgh Strong." Moore tweeted, while Watson urged her followers to inform themselves on the issue of gun violence. From the very start, This Is Us has established its foothold in Pittsburgh culture, with the Pearson family enthusiastically rooting for the Pittsburgh Steelers and storylines revolving around the Steelers. Super Bowl appearances. The Season 3 premiere featured the Steelers' legendary football play, The Immaculate Reception, last April. Moore and co-star Mila Ventimiglia traveled to Pittsburgh's Heinz Field to participate in the NFL draft, where they announced one of the Steelers' draft picks. That's cool. While rare for a scripted series to address a real-life events outside of its creative stories, it should come as no surprise that This Is Us felt a deep desire to honor the city they've adopted as its home. This Is Us airs Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Pacific Standard Time on NBC. Nicole Kidman reveals that her kids have a Big Little Lies cameo. Okay. Nicole Kidman is making Season 2 of Big Little Lies a family affair. The 51-year-old actress stops by the Ellen DeGeneres show on Tuesday, where she gives up one major secret about the hit series' upcoming sophomore run. "My kids were in as extras on Big Little Lies," she reveals to the host of her two daughters with husband Keith Urban, Sunday 10 and Faith 7. "I've never told anyone. There, I'm now being a big mouth." Though she let that one Though she let that one bit of info slip, Kidman, who also serves as a producer on the show, is generally good at keeping the plot under wraps. When it comes to her and Reese Witherspoon, her co-star and co-producer on the series, they can have some trouble staying mum. Probably the two of us have a bit of a big mouth, so we have to watch it, Kidman quips, before defending Witherspoon by saying she's a very good secret keeper. She's told me some things, and I'm trying to keep the secret, The Generous 60 disagrees. I'm not going to tell you because I'm good at keeping secrets, but she told me the entire plot line for this next season. Kidman, it turns out, is guilty of sharing the plot too. The Aquaman star spilled the beans to 51-year-old Urban, her husband of more than 10 years. She's been with him for over 10 years now. Man, time has gone by. I've told my husband the entire plot line, but you're allowed to do that, she reasons. Except he doesn't know the Aquaman storyline. The story is on an even bigger lockdown. Those comic book films are like, oh my God. That's funny. Kidman is set to play Queen Atlanta in the film, which is due to release December 21st. That role, she says, has made her a major hit with her kids. That's the only thing that gives me any credibility with them in terms of my career, she jokes. Because she's playing, because she's in an Aquaman film, so that's cool. Her daughters like Aquaman. That's right on. While her kids are impressed with the film role, many others are preemptively impressed with season 2 of the HBO series. Specifically, the casting of Meryl Streep. The 69-year-old actress is set to star as Kidman's mother-in-law, who moves in with her at the beginning of the season. We got lucky, Kidman gushes of Streep's casting, Streep said. I want to be in the coven, and she's definitely in it now. Last month, Miss Kidman, she couldn't stop singing the praises of all her co-stars, who also include Zoe Kravitz and Shailene Woodley. I think all of us being together was so beautiful, Kidman said at the time. We've now worked together well over a couple of years, and so the bonds between all of us is just deeper and stronger and richer. I miss them. And then to have brought Meryl into that equation, I mean, we would go out all the time. We talk. We would help each other. It's just a very strong connection, and that's rare, that you get that amount of time, particularly screen time together and then personal time together. And by the way, Nicole Kidman used to date Lenny Kravitz, Zoe's dad. Just saying. Very interesting. Kim Kardashian reveals, that's right, folks, keeping up with Kanye, keeping up with the Kardashians. Kim Kardashian reveals Kanye West was advised Kanye West was advised not to date her because of her sex tape. What a shocker. I mean, what a surprise. Really. I guess someone thought that was like inappropriate behavior, huh? Okay. Oh, I love my job. I mean, so apparently this is news. Okay. Kim Kardashian had Kanye West support long before they became husband and wife. The 38-year-old reality star opened up about her relationship with West while speaking with Van Jones on Be Woke Vote, revealing that the rapper was told not to date her because of her sex tape past. I mean, yeah, let me read this story. Oh, I love my job. I mean, that kind of, I'm not surprised by that. Yeah, I'm just not surprised by that at all. This feels like old news, but apparently we're going to talk about it anyway. We've been through a lot together, I've known him for 15 years now, became friends with him maybe in like 2006, 2007. Met him in like 2002 or 2003. I've known him forever. He's put himself up against the world for me when everyone told him, you cannot date a girl with a sex tape. You cannot date a reality show girl. This is going to ruin your career. Kardashian recalled everyone told him that. Okay. Didn't know about the whole part about you knowing him since 2002 and 3 and 2006 and 7. Okay, so that's cool. So you have known him for a while. It wasn't like all of a sudden he woke up and said, hey, let's get married. Okay. So that's cool. That's information that we did not know. To me, he was like, oh, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'll let you know that it's going to be okay. And he always was that strength for me. So I always love and appreciate him for always standing up for me, she continued. The Keeping Up with the Kardashian star said that whenever the world doubted her, West was there to hold my hand and lift me up. So she does the same for him. Even throughout his controversial comments about politics, Kardashian, who shares 3 kids with West, voted for Hillary Clinton in the 2016 presidential election, while her husband was an outspoken supporter of President Donald Trump. On Tuesday, the rapper announced he'd be taking a step back from politics after months of making headlines with his contentious views. We'll be back with more Keeping Up with Kanye and Kim after this break.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now, don't bother, what's hot on Netflix, and everything in between. That's GSMCpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Once again, you're listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. This is your Captain Keith. Happy Halloween edition. According to Kardashian, she and her husband are able to have a successful marriage despite their conflicting political views because she understands the heart of what he's saying. It takes him about 4 years to write a song to explain, to communicate what he wants to say. So when he tweets something in 2 seconds, what's going on in his mind and what he thinks and what he's trying to say, he might not be the best communicator, but he has the best heart, and I know what he means. I believe in him, and I believe that his message of what the MAGA hat represents to him is maybe different than what it represents to other people. She explained he is very mindful about that. He doesn't maybe express that, but what it means to him is something totally different, and I trust him in that. He will explain that in his own way. Kardashian went on sharing that she's working with her husband to better express what he actually means. You know, the good thing is he is so strong that he knows what he means, she said. The people around him know what he means, and the people around him let him know that what he said might not be what he means and tries to help him work on it. But I know his heart, so we're working on expressing that. She added that West will always do what he believes, whether it's the popular thing or not, and he has said so many times, even on SNL, Saturday Night Live, but I don't know if it was on because it was at the end. I do not agree with all of the policies. I don't even know all the policies. I'm not political. I'm just saying this is what this represents to me, and I will wear it because that's what I feel. He wants to fight for free thought, she added. Okay, and who doesn't? Just saying. Kanye West says he's distancing himself from politics after being used for messages I don't believe in. That's right. That's the Kanye Flips headline for this podcast. After months of throwing his support behind President Donald Trump and rocking his customized MAGA hat, Make America Great Again, Kanye West is now promising to step out of the political arena. The 41-year-old rapper took to Twitter on Tuesday to declare that he feels like he's been manipulated to stump for causes he doesn't actually support. Additionally, West says he plans on spending more time creating music and art and less time weighing in on divisive political debates. My eyes are now wide open and now realize I've been used to spread messages I don't believe in, West wrote. I am distancing myself from politics and completely focusing on being creative. The statement came at the end of a short Twitter diatribe in which West detailed some specific political beliefs which seemed to be pointed condemnations of some of Trump's most controversial policies. I support creating jobs and opportunities for people who need them the most. I support prison reform. I support common sense gun laws that will make our world safer, West wrote. I support those who risk their lives to serve and protect us, and I support holding people who misuse their power accountable. I believe in love and compassion for people seeking asylum and parents who are fighting to protect their children from violence and war, he continued. I would like to thank my family, loved ones, and community for supporting my actual beliefs and my vision for a better world. West also distanced himself from conservative activist Candace Owens, who recently promoted her so-called Brexit campaign, which encourages black voters to leave the Democratic Party, ostensibly in favor of the Republican Party, with clothing that she claimed was designed by West himself. I introduced Candace to the person who made the logo, and they didn't want their name on it, so she used mine, West claimed. I never wanted any association with Brexit. I have nothing to do with it. The tweets come in stark contrast to many remarks West has made in recent weeks regarding Trump, including those in a lengthy and somewhat confusing soliloquy he delivered in the Oval Office during a meeting with Trump, which occurred earlier this month and ended in a hug. Well, there that is. Kourtney Kardashian enjoys a night out with fling Luka Sabbat. Yeah, okay. There's a picture of the two of them together. He looks very young. Kourtney Kardashian enjoyed a night out on the town with Luka Sabbat on Monday. The Keeping Up with the Kardashian star and actor were photographed driving off together around 1:30 a.m. after hanging out with a group of friends at a West Hollywood establishment. Kourtney kept it cute and casual for the evening by rocking a black jacket and slicking her hair back into a high ponytail. She was all dressed up and looked very happy in insider states. She didn't care that anyone saw them together, and she was smiling over at him. The outing came just a few days after Luka was photographed holding hands with the mystery woman during a night out at the club. While a second source states Kourtney is not seeing Luka at the moment and that they were never official, the new photos certainly raised a few eyebrows. Kourtney doesn't care and she's just having fun, the first source reassured. She's just going with it and not concerned about what it is or isn't going to be. She's attracted to him and she likes him. There are no strings attached at all. It's a fling. Kourtney and Luka sparked romance rumors earlier this fall after the two were spotted hanging out on multiple occasions. For instance, they enjoyed a night out at the Los Angeles The Nice Guy in late September and stepped out for a dinner date with family and friends earlier this month. They've also been spotted attending an art gallery together and spending quality time with her sister, Kendall Jenner. The speculation came about a month after Kourtney called it quits with Eunice Benjima, whom she dated for nearly 2 years, while the second source said Kourtney is loving being single. Would she ever consider reconnecting with father of her children, Scott Disick? Even though the two don't share a romantic connection anymore, another source states the two are currently on great terms and have really figured out a system that works best for them in terms of co-parenting. Kourtney knows that Scott is embedded into the family permanently, and so she is very cordial with him when he's around. The third insider said, as long as Scott isn't off the rails creating drama or doing anything that would affect the kids, then Kourtney doesn't mind having him around. Well, that's nice. Someone doesn't mind having him around. That's good. Sanaa Lathan says being a black woman in Hollywood has gotten easier. Do tell. Beautiful picture of her with her natural hair. It's short and just very curly rolls, like Shirley Temple rolls, but small. I'm probably using the wrong way to describe them, but it's a very nice picture of her. Beautiful smile. Now that Sanaa Lathan has over 20 years of experience working in movie business, she's reflecting on her evolution as well as Hollywood's. In honor of the launch of Ralph Lauren's fragrance's new Woman perfume, its accompanying empowerment initiative, Led Like a Woman, the star of Netflix Nappily Ever After, shared her perspective on what it means to be a woman in the industry, and more specifically, what it means to be a black woman in Hollywood. I always talk about the fairy tales that we grew up on: Cinderella, Rapunzel, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White. I mean, these are the stories that we are read as little girls to show us what is valued and what is beautiful and what we should want. And black women are not reflected in that, she stated. at the debut of her short film, Sisterhood of Leaders, hosted by Ralph Lauren, Fragrances and Women in Film. And so what does that do to your self-esteem? For me, it's just so important. I'm feeling so great now that we are starting to see images in the advertising, movies and TV that look like us because it's important. Diversifying media isn't a new initiative she's getting behind, as she stated. Her roles in early films such as Love and Basketball, Brown Sugar, The Best Man, brought a black heroine to the big screen in the 90s and early 2000s. Essentially, she used these cult favorite films to tell her own fairy tales for her community, which included romance but also intertwined stories of women dominating in sports and in the workforce. If you're wondering how Sanaa came to dominate this specific genre, the answer is easy. She's a widely loved storyteller, and the competition wasn't as fierce as it is today. There were only a handful of working black actresses during that time. They played in the same movies together, and this became an essential support system for each other as they dealt with the unique and harsh experience of being a black woman in Hollywood. When we were coming up, and I say we meaning like my peer group, Nia Long, Gabrielle Union, Regina Hall, Regina King, we weren't allowed to wear our hair natural, she reflected. And I'm not saying we weren't allowed, but a lot of the feedback that we got, that I would get about my hair, was unspoken. You had to wear wigs and weaves to get the role. Now this whole generation, the generation of actresses younger than I, are really starting to wear their hair naturally. You're seeing that throughout the industry. But it's still so hard. Whether it's your parents or your work environment, it's a real thing. It's a real thing that you kind of have to overcome. But it's really liberating when you do. I think that's great, and I hate that this was ever an issue. It always should have been that you were able to wear your natural hair. That doesn't make any sense. And I definitely want to encourage any black women in Hollywood and any women in Hollywood to link up with screenwriters and producers and make your own films, produce your own films when you can. So, be that powerful change, definitely. That's where her newest project, Napoli Ever After, came into play. Her role is an ode to her friends, family, and any woman that has been conditioned to dislike their natural textures. For me, Violet is so many. She is me. She is my mother. She is my little sister. She is every woman. She continued. I call it my love letter to little black girls. We have to claim our own power, our own beauty. It's also very universal for all women because hair is a metaphor for what society says you should be. And so Violet shaving her hair off is saying, F you, I'm going to be who I want to be. I think every woman can relate to that. And I agree, I think they can. I think that's very cool. While she's creating a romance in which women are falling in love with themselves instead of a man, the actress is happy that she's no longer one of few. Instead, younger stars like Yara Shahidi, Storm Reed, Amanda Stenberg, and Logan Browning are bringing in a new beauty perspective to Hollywood and helping to push the agenda for self-discovery and self-love within the black community. Things are certainly getting better, but Sanaa claims they aren't quite where they need to be, because while you may think that what happens on the screen is of utmost importance, the actress revealed that the glam squads backstage also need to be diverse. I still have to fight, she said. Every job I have to fight to get somebody who I know knows how to do my hair, and sometimes you can't get it. And oftentimes, if you can't get it, you'll make your hair decision based on whether you can get a hairdresser or not. For instance, you'll choose to wear a wig. A lot of women do that. The more women of color there are working, the more we have to have the same reflection behind the scenes. Enter Vernon Francois, Naivasha Johnson, Nikki Helms, and Felicia Leatherwood, Hollywood's top natural hairstylists. But like Sanaa's peer group in the 90s, behind the scenes of film and television, there needs to be more. Fortunately, she left us with good news. There is a wonderful time for us as women. She said, anything that supports us in being empowered in our own lives and careers and brings us together, I'm all for it. Very cool. Victoria Beckham to receive the Fashion Icon Award at the 2018 People's Choice Awards. It's official. Victoria Beckham is the most fashionable woman out there. Okay. Was not aware of that. Okay, there are a lot of stylish women in the world, but Beckham has proven year after year that she's iconic, fashionable, and oh so chic, which is why she is the recipient of the first ever Fashion Icon Award at the upcoming 2018 People's Choice Awards. Okay. On Tuesday, he announced that the 44-year-old designer and creative director of Victoria Beckham would be the honoree for the Fashion Icon Award at the inaugural People's Choice Awards, a live show next weekend on November 11th. I feel so honored to be receiving the first ever Fashion Icon Award at the People's Choice Awards. This year I'm celebrating 10 years of my brand, and this is a wonderful way to mark that decade. Beckham said in a press release, "I am so grateful to be the inaugural recipient. I love what I do and love that I have been given the opportunity to empower women through my collections. November 11th will be a very special moment for me." I mean, it's always good to get recognized. That's, by your peers. Beginning with her little Gucci dress phase as a member of the Spice Girls and evolving into a fashion mogul over the past decade, Beckham has proved time and time again that she's worthy of this honor. And more on the story after this break.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
And we're back. Once again, you're listening to GSMC's Entertainment Podcast with your Captain Keith. That's me. That is I. And this is our Halloween edition of the Entertainment News. And more on Victoria Beckham. So Beckham's success as a designer, creative director, and continual clout as a style icon makes her the perfect choice for this year's Fashion Icon Award. Victoria Beckham is a powerful businesswoman, fashion designer, and true inspiration and voice for modern-day women. Jen Neal, executive producer of live events and executive vice president of marketing for E, said. Celebrating its 10th anniversary, her brand is culturally influential across the globe, and we couldn't think of anyone better suited to receive the inaugural E People's Choice Awards Fashion Icon Award. So I just wonder if this is just for designers or if it's going to be for models too. Okay. If we're being honest, we can't get enough of Beckham's sleek, modern, and sophisticated ensembles and designs. So yes, we are so excited to celebrate her at this year's show. Okay. In 2008, the British singer launched her first collection, and fans have been loving it ever since. In September of 2018, she honored her 10 years of success as a designer with the 10-year anniversary limited edition collection, and again, her fans are thrilled with the collection. Beckham's 10 years in the industry has amassed to 4 lines, stocked in 400 stores in 50 different countries, all created in her London studio, or 50 different counties. It says counties. I don't know if they mean counties or countries, who knows. All created in her London studio, 2 standalone retail stores, with the flagship store at 36 Dover Street in London, and past collaborations with Target, Estee Lauder, and most recently Reebok. Over the past decade, she's also acquired a large group of celebrity followers, including Eva Longoria, Jennifer Lopez, Gwyneth Paltrow, Selena Gomez, Gal Gadot, and even the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle. In addition to launching her 10-year anniversary collection this fall, the former singer showed her Victoria Beckham Spring/Summer 2019 collection at London Fashion Week for the first time in the history of her brand. She's been showing at New York Fashion Week for years, but 2018 marked her first runway show back in the United Kingdom, and it went off without a hitch. The only real question is, what does Beckham want to conquer next? Oh, don't worry, she already has another plan in the works, and it will make lovers of the designer's work and flawless overall appearance very happy. I would say beauty, Beckham stated in September when discussing her 10 years in the fashion industry. So for me, I learned a lot about beauty when I was working with Estee Lauder. I will be developing a makeup and skincare and probably fragrance. First, she was a Spice Girl. Then she conquered the world of fashion as a designer. Now she wants to take on beauty and fragrance. Yes, please. With all of her achievements in fashion and her impeccable personal style and ability to do anything in heels, that is a talent. Because I'm not wearing heels. That would hurt. You can see why she is the perfect person to be dubbed the 2018 fashion icon at the People's Choice Awards. So, to see what Beckham and the rest of this year's honorees and finalists wear when the show goes live, don't miss the PCAs airing this month on E! E! and NBC are both part of the NBC Universal family. I did not know that. All right. I might have to watch this out of curiosity because I want to see who else gets awards and why. And I want to see these clothes. But mind you, Victoria Beckham does not make clothes for me, so I get it. But I want to check it out, though. I'm curious now. They piqued my curiosity. And in more entertainment news, Naomi Watts joins the Game of Thrones prequel at HBO. All right. Let's see. The Game of Thrones prequel series just got one step closer to happening. Now, Naomi Watts has signed on to the star, and it's been confirmed. Let's see. Set way before the events of Game of Thrones, the prequel, which is still a pilot, hails from Jane Goldman of X-Men, First Class fame, and Song of Ice and Fire. Scribe George R.R. Martin. Goldman will serve as showrunner. There's no official title just yet. Watts, who dipped her toe in American TV with the short-lived Gypsy on Netflix, will play a character described as a charismatic socialite hiding a dark secret. The potential series is set thousands of years before the events of Game of Thrones. Only one thing is for sure, from the horrifying secrets of Westeros history to the true origin of the White Walkers, the mysteries of the East to the Starks of legend. It's not the story we think we know, the series' cryptic logline reads. Really? The final season of Game of Thrones will debut in 2019. As you can imagine, details are being kept under wraps, but you can expect a finale that won't please fans. It will be a series finale after all. Okay, when you say that, you're just getting us all a little worried and like we're not gonna like it. Don't scare us off. What the heck? I think a TV series that spanned 8 to 9 years is an incredibly difficult thing to end. Game of Thrones stars Kit Harington told MTV at TIFF. I think not everyone's going to be happy, and you can't please everyone. My favorite TV shows are Sopranos, Breaking Bad, and The Wire, and they all ended in a way that it's never going to satisfy you. Winter is coming in 2019. Okay, so let me speak on that. All right, so we get it. You guys are giving us warnings that the ending may actually be kind of like horrible, or we may not be happy with it. And I ask myself, as a fan of the show, to the writers and everyone involved in this, when you have a great show that people all over the world love, it becomes like a sacred thing. People watch television, people go to the movies, people listen to music. Art is a great way for people to escape in a very safe, loving way. Now, art isn't always safe and loving. Sometimes art is dangerous and risque, and that can be stimulating too. And I get that. Art is many things to many people. Nothing I can't stand more than watching a show I love end on a bad note. Understand something. If you end a television show on a bad note, it ruins the whole show. At least it does for me. It just does. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. The way you start a story and the way you end a story are crucial. You can start a story on a bad note and still get away with it being a great story if it ends properly. But if you start a story on a good note and you end it on a bad note that looks and feels forced and unnecessary, you undo all of the great work that you've done. So understand, there are characters on Game of Thrones that we love. And we are invested in rooting in those characters, certain core characters, winning. You don't want to see characters you love who suffer throughout the whole series suffer in the end. What's the point of me watching TV if it's going to end badly, you know, I might as well just watch my local news. So, you know, I just pray that writers understand that, you know, it's always good to end things on a high note whenever you can. I hate it when they kill off beloved characters in the end just because it feels forced and contrived, and it's just offensive to me. So I just had to say that. So I love Game of Thrones. It's one of those rare shows that I can speak with my family about from all over the country, and we can just talk about it. You know, there's always rare shows that you can bond with your whole family over. That's like one of them, and Friends. So, you know, I want writers to keep that in mind, you know, with this show. You know, we've got way too many actors from this TV series letting us know that it's not going to end well. It's bad enough we're only getting 6 episodes. You know, we already feel cheated with that. I know I feel cheated with that. You know, I wanted my 10 episodes, and I wanted as many episodes as I can get, especially for this last season. And it's bad enough we didn't even get it this year. So I'm just very weary now. So I'm excited to watch the show, but now I'm not. Now I'm kind of guarded. Now I'm expecting the worst. And I want to be wrong about what I'm thinking. I want to be wrong. So don't jump the shark. Don't ruin this show for us. I'm just saying. I had to say that because, I'm starting to get worried when I hear all these Game of Thrones actors talking about the way the show is ending. They're not telling me, but they might as well be telling me that our favorite characters are going to bite the bullet. And don't do that. At this point, I don't say anything else about the show because it might get to a point where I don't even want to watch because you keep on making it sound like it's going to be really bad, and we're not going to watch it. That's the case. Don't do that. I'm sorry. it's just getting to me there, man. And in more entertainment news, Shannon Doherty defends Charmed remake and asks fans to think about what the original show meant to them. So, and there's a nice picture of the new Charmed cast and a nice inset picture of Shannon Doherty with her smile. She looks fully recovered from her bout with cancer. Glad to see she's healthy again. The CW's Charmed remake was the subject of ire from both fans and original cast members before it even premiered. And now one of the original cast members, Shannon Doherty, who was the original star of that show, is speaking out again in the show's defense. While appearing at a comic convention in Paris, Doherty was asked about the new CW series, which got boos from the audience. I want to remind everybody that these are 3 girls who just want to act. They got a huge opportunity, and I would implore everybody to be a little bit kinder, Doherty told the crowd. Doherty, who has praised the show before, said the show is about good influence. This is a show about 3 strong women again. I know that it may not be your Charmed, but you should all really pat yourselves on the back and congratulate yourselves because you're the most loyal, amazing fans in the world. And because of you, you made a show that a younger generation wants to see, she said. The actress, who was recently seen in the Heathers TV remake, noted the show is giving people jobs and hope. You have to think about what Charmed did for you when it was on and think about what that's going to do for a new generation. Embrace it, you guys. It's doing well ratings-wise, and it's employing over 200 people. That's really cool. Very cool. New series star Sarah Jeffrey took to Twitter to thank Doherty. Sarah plays, I believe her name on the show is, hold on, I want to say Maggie. Let me tell you what her name on the show is. Let's see. Maggie Vera. She's the younger sister. So that's what she plays. So she went to Twitter in response to what Shannon said. And let me tell you what she said, which is very nice. Let's see. Let me get back to that. I thought I had that quote to read to you, and I don't know where it is. I guess it's not there. But she did thank Shannon for her kind words, which was very cool. And when she thanked Shannon, Doherty, she was thanking Shannon on behalf of her and her TV sisters and the whole cast and crew of the new Charmed episode. Of course, that goes without saying. So, but now original members, Holly Marie Combs, who played Piper on the original show, the middle sister, was quick to decry the new version of Charmed, which stars Melanie Diaz, Madeline Mantock, and Sarah Jaffrey, who are the three new witch sisters. Here's the thing: until you ask us to rewrite it like Brad Kern did weekly, don't even think of capitalizing on our hard work. Combs tweeted, "Charm belongs to the four of us, our vast amount of writers, crews, and predominantly the fans. For your information, you will not fool them by owning a title /stamp. So bye." Sounds kind of bitter. Yeah, ouch. More on this story after this break.
Golden State Media Concepts bring you Book Review Podcast, a haven for bookworms of all ages and the widest genres, from mystery to memoirs, romance to comedy, fantasy to sci-fi. If you love to read, this is a podcast for you. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Book Review Podcast.
And once again, you're listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. This is your Captain Keith, talking about the reboot of Charmed and Shannon Doherty, and remarks from the original cast members, comments, and criticisms about the reboot. So, let's see, where was I? Alyssa Milano previously told E! News she was unsure if she was going to watch the remake. It was such a big part of our lives, so it's hard for us to accept that somebody else was doing it, Milano told E! News. Zuri Hall, she told her that. But not anything personal or creative about that, just that it was us. It was huge. Personally, it's hard to see it sort of move on without us. In an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, new series creator Jenny Snyder-Erman said she wished they had reached out to the original cast only because of all the feelings that got excavated once that happened. Yeah, that's one of the first things you should have done. Yeah. You think? Because now you got, like hurt feelings, Then you look back and you realize this was such a huge part of their lives for so long. Of course, they're feeling like, oh my gosh, it's being taken in a direction without me. But hindsight is 20/20. We understand their feelings, and at the same time, we want to give these women who are starring in the reboot, who have really strong voices, an opportunity to be the heroes of the story, and an opportunity to do their version of the show. It's always tricky when you take a property that has existed, and I can only speak for myself, but I just wasn't fully aware of all of the deep emotional ties and the feelings that came out of that, really human feelings. So I would like to do better. If there's better rebooting in my future, who knows, she said. Charmed airs Sundays at 9 p.m. on the CW. Well, I definitely want to encourage you to have Shannon Doherty on, because she was the eldest sister. She was the flagship star of that show when it first started. So, and she was great on that show, actually. She was. Yes, I'm a Shannon Doherty fan. But the first 3 seasons of Charmed were amazing, so I really enjoyed it. I watched the whole thing. Yeah. And then she left, and it just wasn't the same. Not at all. Although I do think that Rose McGowan did a great job. She did. And I'm a fan of hers as well. So, but I did find that comment or the remark. So after Shannon defended the new cast of Charmed, and that was really cool, very classy. I'm just very, very cool. Sarah Jaffrey, who plays, Maggie on Charmed. Here's what she said, Maggie Val. "This is truly so lovely and so appreciated at Doherty Shannon. I thank you sincerely for your kind words and open heart. I feel so lucky to take on Charmed." So, and of course, when she said that, she was speaking for the whole cast, like I said, and the whole crew. So, and that's cool. And that gives it even more legitimacy. And I'm watching the show, so I'm curious to see where it goes. because the casting is definitely different, and it is a different story and different names. It's not the Halliwell sisters, so they changed more than you think. So it's the same, but it's not. Just saying. So there that is. Megyn Kelly to NBC. I'll zip my lips for $10 million. Really? There's this picture of Megyn Kelly with her mouth wide open, like she just saw something. I don't know how they got that picture. It's kind of interesting. Megyn Kelly has told NBC she will not spill whatever beans she has on the network and the people who work there, but at a hefty price. Sources familiar with the negotiations state that NBC offered Kelly $38 million, which the network says represents the balance owed on her contract. As we reported, Megyn was pulling in around $25 million a year, and she was 1 year and some change into the 3-year deal. Am I in the wrong business? Seriously? We're told NBC attached a pretty standard string, a confidentiality agreement. Her lawyer said his client would sign on the dotted line for an additional $10 million. We're told NBC told the attorney to pound sand. NBC definitely has cause for concern. Kelly wrote a book, Settle for More, in which she targeted Fox News Channel, and she has been critical of the network since her exit. We're told settlement negotiations are ongoing. So there that is. And I have more for you, but let's get to some Halloween-themed entertainment news. Oh, yeah. Al Roker defends Halloween costume after Megyn Kelly scandal. There's a picture of him with the whole cast, and he's got this gray-haired wig on and a lab coat. And one cast member is from the Today Show is Tina Turner. Other one is Cyndi Lauper, and I'm not sure who the other one is. Today's Show meteorologist and co-host Al Roker wants to explain to some people what blackface means, following criticism over his Halloween costume in the wake of Megyn Kelly's scandal. Last week, NBC canceled her show, Megyn Kelly Today, after she defended the use of blackface as part of Halloween costumes. In a segment on her program hours earlier, the Today Show co-host condemned her remarks, with Roker being one of her harshest critics. On Wednesday, Halloween Today, the group appeared on the air in the 80s-inspired costumes. Roker dressed up as Back to the Future's Doc Brown, played by white actor Christopher Lloyd in the 1985 film, classic film. Some people commented online that Roker's choice of costume and the Today Show celebration of it made him a hypocrite and constitute a double standard. Okay, so how is it a double standard that he's playing a role? So what does that mean? So does that mean that black people can't be Spider-Man or Batman? So here is a tweet from Big Large Time at Al Roker at Megyn Kelly. Is a terrible person to even suggest that it's okay for a white person to go as a black character for Halloween. Also at Al Roker goes as Doc Brown, a white character from a movie for Halloween. Hashtag hypocrites, hashtag whiteface. Really? Megyn Kelly loses her show because she posed a question about dressing as an admired character of color if you are of Caucasian background. And yet Al Roker dresses today as a beloved character from an iconic movie who happens to be Caucasian. Is there some hypocrisy in there? I hate I even have to read this, but I'm going to finish it. One person wrote on Facebook post shared on today's show's page, I'm going to say this one last time, but the folks who get it understand, and the ones who don't won't, Roker tweeted. I can be Doc Brown, and I can wear the outfit and wig and not change my skin color if you're white. You can be President Barack Obama if you want. Just don't color your skin. So what he's saying is that he can be Doc Brown, but if he were to put on white makeup, then that would be offensive. He's saying that's a no-no. So he's Doc Brown, but everybody knows, it's Al Roker playing Doc Brown. He's not changing his face. He's just putting on the costume. And like he stated, if somebody who was white wanted to be President Barack Obama, go ahead, put on the suit, put on the hair, just don't paint your face black. That's all. So, and that makes sense. It's on Monday and Tuesday, Roker and co-stars such as Hoda Kotb and Craig Melvin hosted the third hour of Today. the 9 a.m. time slot, previously occupied by Megyn Kelly Today. Roker had co-hosted that hour for several years until Megyn Kelly Today premiered in 2017. So Kelly has not commented on her show's cancellation. She had apologized for her blackface comments before her series was axed in an email to her co-workers and then on air on her program. The fact is, while she apologized to the staff, she owes a bigger apology to folks of color around the country, Roker had said on the Today Show last week. This is a history going back to the 1830s minstrel shows, to the mean and denigrate a race. It wasn't right. I'm old enough to know, have lived through Amos and Andy, where you had white people in blackface playing two black characters. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was really bad. Just magnifying the worst stereotypes about black men, and that's what the problem is, and that's what the issue is. Here it is. Ellen DeGeneres deserves the final rose for her bachelor contestant costume. Ellen put on this like sequin gown with its open, like bare-chested, open neck, V-neck, and the bosoms look, they're exaggerated, they're bigger. Her hair, she has like a long blonde wig on, and she's apparently it's a great costume. I'm just like, I did not see this coming. It's really cool. Ellen DeGeneres is here for the right reasons. On Wednesday's episode of the Ellen DeGeneres Show, the host gets in the Halloween season with an incredible costume, dressed as a bachelor contestant named Kelly D, a dental assistant from New Jersey. DeGeneres looks ready to accept a rose. Had no idea she was going for this. Apparently, she must be a fan of the show. The host dons a sparkly silver gown that shows off some serious cleavage, as well as a blonde wig, hoop earrings, and full stage makeup for the costume. Yes, you're just like, this is not Ellen. This is Ellen? Okay, wow. She's in full costume mode. She should totally win if there's a prize for this. She looks great. She pulls this off. The generous guest on the episode is none other than Rebel Wilson, who comes to the show dressed as the volleyball named Wilson from the film Castaway. The host's costume seems to inspire Wilson, who reveals that she'd be willing to appear on The Bachelor for a price. Of course. Hey, I'll appear on The Bachelor for a price. I reckon like I smash it on there because I have a lot to offer, man. Wilson 38 says of the long-running ABC series. You know, I think it'd be really cool to have an internationally famous actress who's good at nunchucks and stuff. It'd make for a good season, I think. DeGeneres is totally on board for Wilson's possible appearance on the reality show, but Wilson wouldn't agree to do it just to find love. That's the whole point. Okay. I might have to charge like $20 million, she reveals. Yeah, nothing says looking for love like $20 million to be on a contestant show looking for love. Wow. But I definitely go on it for that price. She adds with a wink. I'm around, still single, believe it or not. I'm gonna rewind that. I'm gonna reread that whole part because I want you to hear it. And I want to say it clearly. But I definitely go on it for that price. No. Let me go back. I'm gonna go back even further. I might have to charge like $20 million, she reveals, but I definitely go on it for that price. You know, she adds with a wink. I'm around, still single, but believe it or not, I know my outfit is quite sexy. Wow, I love my job. Though the pair's conversation continues on, Wilson eventually brings up DeGeneres' costume again, asking, Ellen, do you have much underboob sweat? Not yet, but I'm sure that will happen, DeGeneres replies. There's a lot going on. I'll tell you that right now. You know, I feel like myself, the host quips with a hair flip. I love it. For Wilson, who hails from Australia, the idea of Halloween is a relatively new one. In fact, when her mom was in town for the holiday last year, they decided to drive around and look at some costumes. We worked out where is this good trick-or-treating neighborhood. Drove around, and then we got to bunches. Hold on, we worked out where's the good trick-or-treating neighborhood, drove around, and then we got to bunches of kids. My mom would wind down the window and take pictures of them, Wilson reveals with the laugh. She's a kindergarten teacher, so she obviously loves kids. She wanted to see how Americans do it so she could implement that back home. We call her the mamarazzi because she takes too many photos. And I really thought we were going to get busted. Wilson continues, like someone was going to report us for just like driving really slowly up to kids and taking their photo. But they're just two Australian chicks wanting to learn about trick-or-treating. Over the last year, Wilson's been on a year of fun where she traveled to places like French Polynesia, New Zealand, and Iceland. Instead of working, she even met Julia Roberts at a Taylor Swift concert. Okay. There you go. Picture of her on Twitter. Okay. She's doing her thing. And she is funny, but I'm just like, wow, all right. 20 million to be on a bachelor. And, you know, that's the price. You're not looking for love, and you're still single, surprisingly. Actually, I got Julia's number. I was like, score, she recalls. That's a good night out. That's a good night out to get her number. We text back and forth. We're basically besties now. Cute. There's a picture with her at the Taylor Swift concert. Okay. All right. Looks like Amber Rose is there too. All right. The year is almost up though, and fans are full of speculation about one of Wilson's possible upcoming projects, Pitch Perfect 4. Yay, one more Pitch Perfect film. Rumors of her fourth flick began when she posted a pic of her and her co-stars holding up 4 fingers. Okay. I can't say anything officially, Ellen, but we all just love each other, all of us girls. Wilson says before teasing, definitely I'll be filming another musical film in the next 12 months. I can say that. You'll see me singing a bit more. But yeah, us Pitch Perfect girls, we love each other and we always want to work together, she adds with a smile. Her next project, though, is a new film called Isn't It Romantic, for which she debuted the trailer on Ellen. So that's cool. Wilson, who has also produced the movie, stars as a girl who hates rom-coms before suddenly finding herself in the world of one. The film also stars Adam Devine and Liam Hemsworth as her 2 love interests. I have 2 love interests in the film because why not? If you're the producer, you get to choose that, she quips, before adding that she totally got to make out with Hemsworth. Isn't It Romantic is due out on Valentine's Day 2019. Until then, yeah, so otherwise you have to go check out the trailer online. The cool picture of Rebel as the Wilson ball from Castaway and Ellen in her outfit. It's priceless. I love it. Well, good people of the planet Earth and the known universe, thank you for listening to this podcast. I appreciate you. This Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment podcast. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. I appreciate you all. And happy Halloween once again to all of you. And until next time, well, see you somewhere out in space.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.